Lori Vallow Daybell entering not guilty pleas for the new charges against her in Maricopa County. She's already been convicted in Idaho for killing her children, Tylee and JJ, who used to live right here in the valley. And now she's facing 2 more conspiracy to commit murder cases in Arizona. 12 News journalist Erica Stapleton was in the courtroom today as Vallow was arraigned. And Erica, what was she like?
Well, Tram, before the hearing started, I was able to look at Lori Vallow in the defendant holding area, and she appeared to have a smirk on her face, one I'd seen many times before, as her murder case played out in Idaho. And this morning, at some points, she was smiling and laughing despite the very serious charges she's facing. 2 not guilty pleas for Lori Vallow.
State of Arizona versus Lori Vallow.
As she faces 2 conspiracy to commit murder charges in Maricopa County. The first case is from Chandler, where she's accused of plotting to kill her former husband, Charles Vallow, who died in July 2019. The other case is from Gilbert, where Vallow is accused of trying to kill her niece's ex-husband in October 2019. He was not hurt and tuned in to the hearing virtually this morning. Vallow is facing these charges now because she's been in Idaho for nearly 4 years, facing charges there in the deaths of her kids Tylee and JJ and the death of her new husband Chad Daybell's first wife. She was convicted in that case and sentenced to life in prison in Idaho earlier this year. MCSO extradited her from Idaho to Arizona last week. The judge set Vallow's trial for these new cases in April of next year.
So let's bring in our legal expert into the mix right now, Hector Diaz from Diaz Law. Okay, out of the gate, Hector, smiling, smirking, and laughing. I mean, if you were her attorney, is this what you would want?
I mean, this is where you take a timeout, right?
Yeah.
You take a timeout. A couple things going on. This is somebody who is used to being in front of the camera, right? She's been on TV before.
Right.
She knows that, a lot of her hearings have been televised. So maybe it's a little bap of, tactic on her part not to show, hey, I'm not scared, I'm not concerned about these charges.
But don't you want to be
tactic.
solemn and serious?
Absolutely, absolutely. And, and let's also not forget that she's also raised this issue. Her lawyers have raised this issue of competency, is that at play here? Does she even understand where she's at today? I mean, the court would have asked her some basic questions during this. We call it the not guilty arraignment because really not much goes on other than a plea of not guilty, and then there's really isn't even a reading of the indictment. It's just a very perfunctory, very quick hearing to kick off the criminal case. And so, we're going to see. We're going to see if this was, maybe acting on her part and just kind of, showing, hey, I've been here before, and I'm ready for this.
Yeah, and Hector, you mentioned competency. That's something we have seen play out in Idaho, and what experts I've talked to say they expect to see here. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. I mean, this is, first, they're going to review whether she's even competent to assist her lawyers in preparing a defense. That's number one. Then the issue will be, is she competent to proceed to trial? And those are 2 separate issues. You're going to see likely very soon doctors appointed to evaluate her. And these are likely going to be motions that are filed by her own defense saying, hey, we've got an issue here.